My wife. I love saying that.
That's Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, in Philly, warming up the crowd on debate day there. The nation now paying a lot closer attention to him as he hopes to become the country's first ever first gentleman. Now, we've been interviewing Emhoff for years here on The Issue Is. This week, we want to bring you a previously unaired interview we did with him in June. Emhoff was visiting the women's professional soccer team, Angel City FC, at their practice facility in Thousand Oaks. It was just days before the Biden-Trump debate that changed everything. This appearance close to our shared hometown. Always great to see you. Welcome back to The Issue Is. So you and I both went to Agora High School, literally just down the road from here. What does it mean for you to be here?
You and I have talked about what it means for me to come home, but this is literally like coming home to my backyard, and it's very special. I've been traveling a lot, as you know, all around the country, especially now, and to be able to come back home to do an event like this with Angel City FC, talk about pay equity, gender equity, and how we can support our elite athletes in women's sports, and it's good for them, but it's also good for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, this has been a big issue for you. You've traveled all over the country talking about this. You went with the Women's World Cup team for this. Why this issue of all issues?
Being the first man in this role and someone who took a big step back from a career as an entertainment lawyer to support our first woman vice president, I wanted to find issues that I could move the needle on. I really thought that this was, and it turned out to be true, and I also love sports. And as we know, sports brings us all together. So to combine all those things into one is very compelling, and to center it around, women in sports, equality, and it's not just pay, it's childcare, it's family leave, and in sports it's also facilities and travel and training and all those things that elite athletes need, and that's all in play here, no pun intended, on some of these issues we're talking about.
Yeah, and a beautiful facility that we're looking at here.
This is great.
Another big issue that you have talked about so much is anti-Semitism, and you think about how when we first talked a few years ago at Shoah, how that issue has just exploded ever since.
It's a crisis.
What do you think is going on? Because you've thought deeply about this issue, you've talked to people all over the country. Why is there so much anti-Semitism right now?
We know it's been there, it's always been there. As you know, we came out with the first ever national strategy to counter anti-Semitism back in May of 2023, all before October 7th. October 7th just supercharged the hate. I've called it a crisis of anti-Semitism. We see it on our campuses, at our markets, our places of worship, online. And it's just kind of ripped the lid off it. And we all have to come together. It's a poison on our democracy. All of us need to know that this anti-Semitism, this hate, is dangerous for all of us. So whether you're Jewish or not, we all need to come together and fight back against it, not just through words, but through action.
This was not necessarily the issue for you as an Agora kid, but it's sort of found you, right, being in this job. Can you talk about what that's been like for you and the responsibility you probably feel in this job?
Yeah, growing up out here, kid from Agora, went to CSUN, then USC Law School. Never thought that this would be where I'd wind up, but I'm a Jewish person. And as a Jewish person, I'm the first Jewish person ever to be a White House principal. And I take that very seriously. I feel very accountable. So from day one, and with Kamala, Vice President's urging, she's really the one who's continued to push me in, saying you have to use your voice. And Elex, some days, especially since October 7th, I don't want to do it. It's hard. I'm still processing my own rage and anger about what happened on October 7th. I'm still thinking about those hostages, and I'm still thinking about the conflict that needs to come to an end that's affecting everyone.
Right.
And so there's some days I don't want to do it, but I have to. And the Vice President and President have been great of urging me on to continue to do it.
And just to wrap things up, I mean, how has this job changed you? We've seen you over the years, and it seems like you're even more visible now. How do you think that you've changed in this role?
Well, I've tried not to. It's funny when I see some of my old friends, and they'll say, you're still you. So I try to still be my true, authentic self, because that's what actually Dr. Biden told me almost day one when I said, hey, any advice? She said, look, you just got to be you. But I've seen so much now. I've traveled our great nation that we all love so much. I've traveled internationally. And to grow up right here, like in this neighborhood, to be able to say that and see the world and see our country and it's all of its glory and all of its beauty, I have changed. I mean, I've changed for the better. I mean, it's just, I love our country. I'm so honored to be in this role and to support the president and vice president as second gentleman. I'm so proud of Kamala as her husband. She's doing great to just her home state. She's doing us so proud. So yeah, excited about the future.
Always great to see you. Go
You too,
Chargers,
my friend.
Go Matadors, go Trojans, go Lakers,
Lakers,
all
go
the
Rams,
things.
go
Rams,
Dodgers.
all of it. Great
Good to see you, buddy.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And go Angel City.
And
Jesus.
Angel City,
Yes,
layup.
yes,
Total
yes,
layup.
of
Go
course.
Angel
Yes,
City.
yes. Thank you so much.